This is Ripples to Success. It's our interview series, and we're very happy to have Tracy Segura here. So nice to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, Tracy and her husband own a business in our community here, and they have done some really cool things with their business. And they are leading in a really unique way, and that's why we asked you to come and chat with us, Tracy.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and how you and Renee got the best of both worlds to come together?
So it starts off as Renee, he has this love for coffee. He's always had it. And since I met him, he's always talked about wanting a cafe. And I'm a graphic designer with a background in advertising marketing. And for me, I never really jumped on his dream, on board his dream, because I work with a lot of restaurants. I know how difficult the restaurant industry can be. So, I just kind of let him have his dream. And then he came to me one day and he said, you always go to coffee shops to do your meetings with your clients. He says, why wouldn't it be nice if you had your own cafe that you could sit? And so this is how he pitched it to me. He's very smart, He's like, how can I word this to her that it's going to make her interested? And I said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And he says, you can put your graphics and print shop in the back end of the cafe. And then we can have the cafe in the front. You can meet with customers and it could be the best of, both of our dreams combined into one location. And at first I was like, yeah, it can work. And then I thought, you know what, it can work because networking is a big thing, especially in Barrie. And people could come here and network. We can host meetings. And while they're here, I can meet business professionals and they can see what I'm doing. And, from that, it just kind of evolved and turned into Creative Bean. So I'm the creative and he's the bean.
I love it. I know before things locked down, I spent like whole days there every single week. I held events there. I was there all the time. And you guys always took such good care of me and my people that it was amazing.
Well, see, that's what we liked. People like you come, you have your meetings, you have something to eat and drink, right? Sometimes we'd sit down and discuss your graphic design or marketing needs, and that is what Creative Bean was meant to be. So
that's where you did a lot of your next level leader research, wasn't it, Karen?
Absolutely, at that back table.
Oh, yeah. Well, since COVID, a lot of stuff has changed since then, unfortunately, but we're pivoting, we're making adjustments, and Creative Bean is coming back stronger. So we're happy.
Oh, I love it. Tell me a little bit about the two of you working together, because we've seen that with a lot of other leaders. They're stepping up and they're often, especially if their mate's also a leader, like how do you weave that together? How did you guys be both business partners and still maintain being a couple?
Oh my gosh, that is a loaded question. So many people ask that. Yeah, a lot of people ask that. They say, how do you guys work together and live together? And the funny thing is we also hang out with each other. So I see Renee pretty much every hour of the day. And you know what? Because we both have our different sections of Creative Bean, he handles the cafe side more or less. I have the graphic side. We have our own areas, so we don't really bump into each other. But there is times where I need him and he needs me, and we're able to help. I think at the end we're very good friends, and we know how to communicate well with each other. We're able to choose our battles, I think, because there are times where you're going to work with your husband, he's going to rub you the wrong way, or you're just but you learn how to overcome those things. And I think we've worked so well together that that's a big part of our success and being open for 5 years now.
I love it. You guys do a lot of giving back. Like you're a huge part of your community. I remember seeing a lot of kids popping in, right? Like you're so open to what other cafes would be like shooing people away. Tell me a little bit about how that's helped you have success.
Well, when you first started Creative Bean, I was trying to target more the adults, the business owners, those kind of things. And, I did hear a lot of stories about kids in cafes and restaurants that were just more bothersome, right? So at the beginning, I didn't know what to think about that. But when the kids started coming and just seeing how much they enjoyed being here, and they kind of felt like Creative Being was their spot. So they took care of it, and they were polite, and we couldn't help but not give back to the kids, you know, and not try to create this atmosphere for them. So it kind of turned on us. So what we thought Creative Being was going to be in the beginning just started to change. And we just made a safe place for the kids to come where they were happy. And, you know, if there was times where they came and they were shortchanged, we'd let it pass, you know, we wouldn't mind. And I think for those reasons, they just enjoyed coming, and they treat Creative Being as their own cafe, and we just like that.
I love that.
I don't know if I answered your question though.
You did. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great. When you're sort of creating your business philosophy, you know, you've got this graphics business and a cafe that seems so different, and it really blends well.
Yes.
How did you guys come to sort of the look and feel that you and the philosophy that works so well?
I think it works well because Renee and I are both here, and because it's part of us. And I think that getting this off the ground, if we just had employees and we had outside jobs, I don't know if it would have worked the same way, because you don't really understand Creative Being until you actually come and experience Creative Being. Like when you tell people, oh, it's a cafe that has a business center in it, they're like, really? You know, you kind of feel like you're sitting in Staples having a coffee, and it's just not, it's not comfy. But then they come in here and they see the atmosphere, they hear the music. There's this rapport that we have with our customers. Like Renee and I try to treat everybody as though they were people coming into our home when they come in here. You know, we don't care how old you are. We will make the effort to say hello and go the distance for you, run and open the door. And, you know, when they come in and then they see the business center at the back, it's like, oh, what is that? So the business center doesn't overpower the cafe. And I think that was a big part of why it worked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what have you guys got planned next? I know you made a big pivot so that you could still be open and be a part of the community. What can people be expecting for you in, let's say, the spring 2021 and into the summer?
Well, we had to make a lot of changes. You know, COVID really tried to knock us down. They didn't knock us out, but it did knock us down a few times. You know, as most business owners have experienced. It's unfortunate some people had to close, but instead of closing, we decided to pivot. So we thought, what can we do with Creative Being that is gonna, you know, bring in more revenue, make people happy? Ice cream is one of it. So we thought, you know what, everybody loves ice cream. There's no real place around here for ice cream. Let's bring in Kawartha Dairy. So we have a Kawartha Dairy section going to be opening up very soon. And then the other thing is, this place is already so much about Renee and I that we thought, let's try and put a little bit of ourselves into it. Right now, a lot of people that are going for coffee are going through drive-thru, and we can't stop that, right? We have to give them a reason to want to come here. So we started our Trini Thursday recently. So I've got a Trinidadian background, and we started doing curry chicken and roti, and just kind of trying it out, see what happens. It's been 5 weeks now. It's been 5 weeks, and the responses that we've been getting have been incredible. People love it. They love the home style cooking and stuff like that. So the other addition to our ice cream section is going to be adding on a hot table eventually. So that's what we're working towards. So Creative Being, we're still going to be a coffee shop. You can still get your favorite beverages, all that kind of stuff. You can still get your wraps and sandwiches, but we will be adding on this hot table that we're hoping will be able to bring people from many ends of Barrie our direction.
Well, Tracy, you know, we've been watching. We want you to know that we see the resilience that you're showing in the community, and it means a lot for all of the other entrepreneurs to watch you do that.
Thank
so much
you.
going on Facebook Lives, and we've got and we love that you're taking a leadership role in our community.
Thank you so much. You know what, being an entrepreneur is a very tough thing to do. You know, you've got to be passionate for what you do. You've got to really love it. It's got to be in you, you know? And when you love something that much, yeah, there's times where you feel like you're getting knocked down, and I just want to cry because of like the world around me feels like it's crumbling, and I have this moment where I just need to let it out. But then all of a sudden, and it's all the time, it's like this fire just gets lit. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. How are we going to make this happen? What are we going to do? And we just try again. And you know what? It goes back to you asking me, how do Renee and I work so well together? It's just the support system. You know, he believes so much in me, that he believes in me more than I believe in myself sometimes. And I think with him pushing me, that's a big reason why I'm able to dust myself off and just let's push forward.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, big hugs to you both. Virtual hugs until we can hug you in person.
Huge hug. I miss seeing you ladies.
Yeah, us too, Tracy. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. You know what? And to all the other business owners out there, hang in there. We're going to get through it, and just keep pushing, pivot, do whatever you need to do, because we will make it.